How I seen it. Um, he's just he's a warrior, and so every day, how he conducts himself is one form of leadership. Like the dude has one speed, and I don't care if it's in the weight room, conditioning, pre-practice, in practice, individual. He goes a million miles an hour all the time. So you've got that leadership where it's by example and performance. But now I think he's stepping it up and being more vocal, which kind of is not necessarily in his nature. But I think, when you're comfortable in where you're at, and I attribute that to, him knowing the environment for 2 years in a row and knowing, kind of how we want to operate, it's given him the encouragement and the confidence to now be more vocal. And so you combine those two things with his work ethic and now, being vocal. Guys respect him obviously because he's a good player and he puts forth the work. So that is the next phase is to do that. And I kind of, showed him. I thought Jaime Jaquez was like a really good example for him for a lot of reasons. Similar size, kind of like similar ability as far as just that versatile forward, but Jaime's got leadership qualities, and I think that is the next step in Dawson's career is to be that guy that can not only perform but lead.
You had a message in your practice that was opened up a few weeks ago. You showed the guys a video of Mike Tomlin, I think, talking about Ohio State football players. And you want that to be the standard for your guys. Just what was that message all about?
Yeah, no, he was talking about, I think it was C.J. Stroud, and just how like he could tell the pedigree of Ohio State football players, especially at quarterback. There's a certain expectation, and that when you play at Ohio State, you're used to the big stage. You're used to performing under pressure. That like none of that phases you. And he was just referring that to his team. And so my point to our guys was, we need to start looking at ourselves that way. That we carry ourselves with a certain type of presence and ability, and that to me that's important. I think the mental piece, especially now as we have bodies, is going to be really big for us. We have to mentally be there before maybe we even are there, if that makes sense, in terms of just winning and how we conduct ourselves and how we present ourselves and how we look at ourselves. Because I think that confidence piece is so important. But yeah, that's the goal. You want our guys to be in a program that's on the rise, that has national respect, and that people know when you come and you play at Minnesota that there's a certain expectation of your ability. A lot, man, a lot. I learned patience. I learned areas where kind of I knew I wanted to get better and improve. Learned how to adapt. How to kind of manipulate and do things on the fly. I learned that you think you have a game plan, and the season hits and things change, and you got to be able to be resourceful and sometimes think outside the box to figure it out. It definitely made me better, without question. But I think it also has taught me that, we have the right ingredients to be successful and the right game plan to be successful. And now, it's my job to get us there and to get it done.
Is it hard to stay positive when things have been not going well results-wise the last 2 years? And how do you keep that positivity amongst the kids?
It's not hard to stay positive. I mean, obviously, as competitive as they are, you want to win every game. But I was good because I knew what it was, right? In taking this over, I understood like Minnesota has never been, a quick fix if you want to sustain it, right? So like that first year, as hard as it was, I knew what it was. Like that's part of the growing process. I know some people don't want to hear it, but it's kind of the reality, especially for our program and where we're at. We're not at the point where like we're going to flip it in 1 year and be able to sustain it, right? And so for me, we knew and I knew, you can't live in the portal. So at some point you got to hit the reset. Well, I'd much rather hit the reset and go young in year 2 than in year 3 or 4. And so, again, in year 2, it's like, yeah, it's unfortunate what happened, but I knew what it was. And so now you're just trying to flip it. And, again, we talked a lot to the guys last year about you have to go through it sometimes, and it's only going to make you stronger. It's only going to help our program, and that's why I'm excited right now, because hopefully all that is kind of in the past. But if we can learn from it, myself included, I think we got a really bright future.